Food lines just got worse. Food lines are getting longer. Inflation is hitting the middle class and especially the poor. Today we're going to talk about, hey everybody, you're watching Bull, Boom, Bear, Bust. It's Sunday, July 17th, 2022. Putting this out a little bit later in the evening, so a lot of you don't get around to watching these until the following day. Either way, no matter what time you're watching, I appreciate you coming in and joining me today. Now, first of all, please let me know how this sounds. I'm working with a different camera setup today. It's actually the same camera, but I've got this headset with the mic. And also on that topic, real quick before we get into the story here, thank you to all the awesome viewers that support this channel. I've got a new camera equipment that I'm still learning how to use. A new camera, and separate from that, a new webcam for when I'm shooting these, the desktop videos where I share the desktop. And on top of that, another a mic, a detachable mic, which will be cordless. That way when I'm out and about, the wind noise won't be crazy when I'm doing those, on the street type of videos. And I just want to thank all my very awesome viewers for being here to support this channel, because I wouldn't have been able to upgrade to this equipment without your support. So please let me know what you think about the noise or the sound today, and hopefully it's decent because I have the better equipment that I'm still learning how to hook up and everything. So the quality of these videos will be much better. And I know many of you mentioned, hey JJ, the sound is not so good, but the information's awesome. But a lot of you say you still tune in because the information's pretty top notch. But then you say even with audio not so good here and there, blurry video here and there, today hopefully better. But the fact that you gave me feedback lets me know that you appreciate the information, because I know when I go to watch a video and the audio is too bad to listen to, or it's too choppy or something, and then the information is not that good, I don't bother to leave them feedback because I probably won't be back to watch them anyway. So why do I care if the audio is good if I'm never going to watch them again? But the fact that you let me know that you give me feedback tells me that you appreciate the information, that you are benefiting from the information. So thank you very much. Let's go ahead and get into the news today. This is not some website nobody's heard of. ABC is reporting this. Long lines are back. U.S. food banks as inflation hits high. Long lines are back outside U.S. food banks around the U.S. as working Americans overwhelmed by inflation increasingly seek handouts. That's the word ABC is using, not me. Handouts to feed their families. All right, pump the brakes. Wait a minute. I thought unemployment was near a 50-year low. I thought the economy was red hot, right? I think the only thing that's red hot about the economy is people's tempers, because they see their bank accounts are being drained. We know that the savings rate is now at a 10-plus year low. We went below what we were pre-pandemic, at the end of last year or the beginning of this year, right around there. I don't have my chart in front of me. But the savings rate is plunging. Unemployment, if you just look at the number, it looks good, but these are mostly service sector jobs. They're not keeping up with inflation. And we warned for years that this is dangerous. This type of the job situation where mostly service sector jobs, low-paying jobs, sure, the unemployment number can be low, but why are lines at food banks exploding? Please let me know down in comments. And just as we said would happen, things are continuing to get worse. Excerpt from this article right here. At the Houston Food Bank, the largest food bank in the U.S., where food distribution levels earlier in the pandemic briefly peaked at a staggering 1 million pounds a day. 1 million pounds a day. That's not me saying this. This is this ABC article right here. 1 million pounds a day. That's up from only 500,000 pounds a day before the pandemic. So we're worse off now than we were pre-pandemic. We know things got really bad during the health crisis when it was at its peak. Now we're worse than we were even before then, before the temporary collapse. I say temporary because things collapsed, shut down, things opened back up, markets dropped, markets went back up. Absolutely crazy. What do you guys think about this? 1 million pounds a day of food being given out. Things are getting worse, yet we're told that there's some sort of economic recovery happening, that the unemployment number, that we should look at that, and that should be a confidence booster. That should encourage us to go out and spend money, go out and go shopping, go out and run up debt, because, hey, let's not worry about running up debt because the economy is recovering, they said. The unemployment's super low, so any day now we should start seeing, the middle class paying off debt, getting out of debt. But no, things are getting worse. People are getting further into debt. Food lines are getting longer. Prices are going up faster than they're coming down. I say that because some items are coming down, but it's a minuscule number compared to the items that are going up in price and the goods and services that are going up in price. One example of prices going down, computers and electronics. I was looking at I just talked about it at the beginning. I was looking at a camera, USB camera for the computer, a high quality one, right as the health crisis was at its peak. It was like $200. Even on eBay, used ones are going for like $180, $190. Now you can get them for like the one I'm looking at is $120. So prices are coming down in certain categories, certain items, but mostly I'd have to say 97, 98% of items that we need to buy are going up. Now that you're going to say, well, gas is going down. Well, gas went down a little bit, but we're still up about, in most places, double from where we were just a few years ago. So just because something is down from the peak doesn't mean that we're out of the woods. I still think gas prices are going to go higher. And who knows what else can be inflated again. Will they drop rates again to reinflate some of these bubbles, the markets, including the housing market, or will they continue this controlled decline or this controlled collapse, people calling it? Some people are calling it a crash. I don't think so. We're going to talk more about home prices in our next episode. I guess you could say there is a collapse, and that's a collapse in the purchasing power for most Americans, with 70% of Americans living paycheck to paycheck. That number is up and down depending on when you take the survey, but it's about that number. So there's a collapse happening, all right, and it's not in prices. It's in the purchasing power for most Americans. More out of this article here. Out of here, Feeding America's Fitzgerald is calling on the USDA and Congress to find a way to restore hundreds of millions of dollars worth of commodities recently lost, with the end of several temporary programs to provide food to people in need. USDA commodities, which generally can represent as much as 30% of the food the banks disperse, accounted for more than 40% of all food distributed during fiscal year 2021 by Feeding America Network. So there you go. One of the biggest food distribution networks that we have is telling us these numbers. These are not just some crazy numbers that I'm reading on some, paranoid website, put out by someone writing from their basement. This is now mainstream news, and it used to be a few years ago. I was the doom and gloomer. I was the fear monger. Now everybody knows about it. It's a fact, and people can't deny it because they look around and they see either themselves or someone they know, their friends, family, are having severe financial difficulties, right? So let's keep preparing, folks. We've been right about, I'd say, 99% of what we talk about here. There's a couple exceptions. People thought that I predicted silver would skyrocket. Well, I didn't give it a timeline, and yes, we'll be right on that one eventually, because after this current digital/fiat money system is completely wiping out most people, we're going to have to go to hard assets, because then people will wake up, they're going to come out of their coma, and they're going to say, hey, what's going on with the monetary system? Why did this happen to so many people? Of course, they'll probably blame it on something else, but a lot of people will wake up, and I think we're going to go back to sound money. So yes, we'll be right about that at some point. Hard assets, sound money. But for now, keep stacking, keep preparing. Do what you can do to save money. People say, hey, we need solutions, not just talking about the problem. Solutions. Stop wasting money. If you have to move in with a family or friend to save money, to put away money, if you have to get a couple roommates, hopefully it's people you can get along with. The roommate situation can be very dramatic, if you don't get the right roommate. Save money how you can. If you're going to buy the newest car and go out and get the biggest loan possible for whatever it is, maybe it's a mortgage, maybe it's a car loan, then I don't think you're preparing like you should be. Now, many people know that they're just going to file bankruptcy and they don't care. They're just going to look cool on the way to bankruptcy, right? So I'm going to drive the coolest car on the way to bankruptcy. I'm going to live in the nicest, biggest house on the way to bankruptcy. And that may not be a bad plan. I mean, even bankruptcy allows you to keep certain assets, including your primary residence, right? So to some people, that's a strategy. I personally know people that filed bankruptcy that had a home or they had a mortgage, and own the home, but they owed money to the bank on it, so technically the bank owned it, but they got to keep their home even during bankruptcy. Yes, so it can be a strategy. Some people are just running up debt knowing that they have the safety net, bankruptcy net behind them. But if you can save cash, if you can put away cash, if you could stack and get ready for the deals, because when we see the correction, if you have cash, you're going to be on top of the mountain. You're going to be the king of the mountain, because not too many people are going to have cash, one, and so many people are going to have bad credit, banged up credit from delinquencies and late payments, that they're not going to be able to get a loan. So if you have cash, one, great. If you have cash plus great credit, you'll have a down payment, plus you can get a loan if you need to get a mortgage. Let's say home prices do come down on a major scale and you decide now's a good buying opportunity. Have good credit score, have cash, both preferably, and you'll be on top of the game. That's my solution. If you can do it, do it. Please let me know what you think down below. Are you preparing, or is it not even worth it? You're just going to go run up debt, live the best life you can, look as cool as you can, because there's no hope of getting out of this. You might as well just enjoy it and run up as much debt as possible. Believe it or not, a lot of people have that opinion, and don't be afraid. I mean, if that's your opinion, please let me know down below, because I personally know people that's the way they're doing things right now. Is they don't care. They're just going to run up debt, and they're going to have a lot of fun on the way to a bankruptcy, right? They don't come out and say that, but that's how they're spending. So basically, they're saying it without having to say it, all right? Thanks, everybody, for being here. What do you think about this soaring food bank? I'm going to link to that down below. Soaring lines, things are getting worse, not better, just like we've been predicting here. What else are we going to be right about? Well, come back for more news. You'll stay on top of the game. Big love to everybody here. Peace. Keep stacking. Be well. Bye now.